Good morning, everybody, and welcome to your Friday morning Newcastle United news show. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Paul. I'm joined by Billy, of course. And as usual, if you do enjoy the show, please do give it the thumbs up. And of course, if you're new as well, why not subscribe? Come and become a subscriber. Brilliant community here on the Toon Review. So please do hit that subscribe button, free to do so. But don't forget to hit the notification bell, which will also notify you when we go live or we upload any videos. You can, of course, support the channel via membership. That's the join button just underneath me and Billy. You can gift memberships as well if you're feeling generous. And of course, you can donate to the channel via Super Chat, which is the $ at the bottom of the live comments. And that will take you through and also get your comment read out, guaranteed, live on the show. We've got a super chat immediately in from Mark the Celt, a super sticker. Thank you very much, Mark. Mart, or is it? Hang on a minute. It's Mark. Who's Mart? Dear God. Anyway, good morning, Billy.
Good morning. Good morning out there in Viewerland. Another gold medal for Great Britain, just second in the Olympics.
Wow.
In the rowing.
In the rowing, okay. Mounting up the medals now. We do have a poll at the top of the live chat, which is basically just saying, are you happy with the Osula signing? Yes or no, simple as that. Just to gauge where you guys are on the signing. But we start off with a little bit of a sour note this morning, Billy, with the news that former Newcastle United player Tommy Cassidy has passed away. Do you remember anything about Tommy playing?
Yeah, of course I do. When I first started watching as a youngster, very youngster actually, very young youngster. Middle of the park, got forward, scored goals. Excellent player. Him and McDermott, brilliant. You know, it's a really sad day for us. And he was with us for quite a while as well, Tommy Cassidy. Excellent player. Yeah, he was an excellent player.
Of course, he had been ill for a while, hadn't he? And of course, Craig Shakespeare, former Leicester City manager, passing away yesterday.
Yeah, I remember him playing as a teenager. He was at Walsall for a long time, and Birmingham City also. Again, a good attacking midfield player. It's a shame.
Yeah. And also we need to mention that the Newcastle women's photographer, of course, Colin Locke, who absolutely amazing guy, is being laid to rest today as well. So we hope everything goes okay with his funeral. Still very, very sad news about his passing, of course. Very, very close to the ladies' team, of course. Photographer gave me a lot of his photos to put together for the women's shows that we do, and he'll be a massive miss amongst the women's team. So we hope he rests in peace and everything goes okay for his funeral today. Right, let's move on a little bit. Peter says, good morning all. My third top came yesterday, but the club shop had a Castor. They put P.O. Proudlock instead of P.D. Oh dear. Well,
I don't think they accept returns either with them.
Well, the problem is mine came yesterday, Billy, and it's got a defect. There is a dark mark on the front of it, just underneath the sponsor sign. It's definitely a defect. So I need to get in touch with them to sort that out. It's a lovely shirt, though. Honestly, it is gorgeous. I will get that sorted out, but a little disappointed because I wanted to wear it, obviously. But time, they'll sort it out for me. I'm sure they will. Jimmy Barr, thank you for your super chat. Might not be a super signing, but any striker in to be second or third choice is something. Let's hope Eddie, Isak, and Wilson can get the best out of the lad. Well, let's dive into this, Billy, Shaw, because I know on tonight's show, Alex is going to do his normal deep dive and have a look at his stats and his past and stuff. So we're not going to go too much into that because that's Stato's field of expertise. But there's been, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what our poll says this morning, but there's been very much back and forwards, hasn't there, with regards to this signing. Jimmy Barr, thank you for gifting 5 Toon Review memberships. Very kind, my friend. Thank you so much, Jimmy. And Matty Davies, a member for 17 months, says, I'm actually happy with the sign of Osula. 10 million for an under-21 international with Premier League experience isn't that much of a gamble. And I suppose it's right, Billy. He's 10 million quid. But again, our fan base is a little bit weird in writing players off before they've been signed. This clearly isn't a marquee signing. It's to add on to the squad and potential for the future.
Well, let's be honest. Our first two strikers, let's say Wilson and Isak, how many times have we seen them play 90 minutes? Never happens. And how many times have we seen them fit at the same time? Again, very rarely happens. So Will Osula will sit on the bench, come on and be a nuisance at some point. And if that's all he can do, then even for 10 million quid, that's good enough. But he's potentially, he's 19 years of age. He's going to get better. He will start scoring goals and he will become a real asset to the club. I'm sure of that. He's just at this precise moment in time with potential to be something else as he progresses.
Yeah. Mark says Tosun going to Chelsea has thrown a massive spanner in the plans. Now need to spend 30 million on a right centre back instead of getting one on a free. Right wing and right centre back are now big money deals. So Ab says if we get a top class centre back and a top class right winger, then I would be happy with this signing. Otherwise, it will be an underwhelming transfer window. But I blame the corrupt rules for that. That is a brilliant comment, Abs. Actually, thoroughly agree with you. I think if we can bring another top class centre back in and a right winger, along with Osula, I think people will be happy with that, Billy. It's the fact that, you know, time is ticking in the transfer window. We haven't brought that marquee signing in yet. Eddie, of course, made comments yesterday in Japan that it's very, very difficult to bring in that marquee signing because of the rules and regulations these days. But I suppose if Osula is the only signing, then it becomes a bit underwhelming, doesn't it?
Well, 100% it does. But for all the team China, I don't think we're going to go into the season with just Osula and Lloyd Kelly and a load of keepers through the door, if I'm perfectly honest. You know, I think we're going to get a centre back, and I think we're going to get a right winger. I think we've got to get one, really. Yeah. Whether we fall into PSR problems or not, we've got to do it. We can't just go into the season with, at this precise moment in time, one right-footed centre back in the squad.
Craig's mentioning the new long sleeve replica shirt. Yeah, I've seen it. It's gorgeous. It's a kind of retro one. It's not anything to do with this season. It's a retro. I don't know whether you've seen it, Billy. But it's a sort of Adidas kind of homage to the old replica kit, which is really good. So that'll be coming on sale soon as well.
About the PSR thing, I noticed yesterday that when they tried to get because of inflation, it's still £105 million, same as it's always been. Because of inflation, it should be a lot higher than that. And I saw that Liverpool were one of the ones that, and I'm guessing with the other top five for the top five, whatever it was, put the spanner in the works there. I mean, it's ridiculous that we still work at those kind of parameters. That 105 million is the amount you can lose when it first started. How many years ago? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, Eddie did say yesterday that the transfers have completely changed these days because of the new rules. We can't argue with that. I mean, that's many managers will agree with that, and many managers have come out and said that, apart from the cartel ones, of course. But it's damaged football. It hasn't worked. It hasn't done what it was supposed to have done in the first place and help teams. It's made it very viable for the cartel just to run away with everything all the time and buy who they bloody want.
Maybe that's what it was set up for then.
Yeah. Chris says keep the shirt. The defects are the rare kits, he says. Interesting. Gillian says my daughter got her top and one of the letters was lower, but they sorted it all out and sent another one. Morning all. Seen some clips of Osula and I'm encouraged by us signing him. An Isak understudy, perhaps. Well, a lot of people have been shown the goal that he scored against York City last week, Billy, in a friendly. Very, very good goal. Very, very. He does have a bit of an Isak look about him. You know, he's tall. He's a bit, but he's still got a bit of filling out to do, I think. But
I think he's more chunky, as that's how we say.
Yeah. I'm not discouraged by this signing. I just hope it's not the only signing, and I think that's what's probably worrying a lot of Newcastle fans more than this actual signing. I think, if we look to Paul Mitchell, he has a history of spotting youth and bringing them through, and obviously Eddie Howe has a knack of bringing these players through and improving them. So this is again an opportunity. I think Osula's looked at the move and thought, I can't not say yes to Newcastle United. And let's, I think you mentioned, or Alex, the other night about he played for Sheffield United in a relegated side. He didn't, it's not like they were knocking on the door trying to score goals every minute of every game. They were defending most of the time, and it was very difficult for anyone to score for Sheffield United. Yeah. So I'm not particularly worried. I'm quite happy with the signing. But we have to have a boost of a big name. or a big signing to go along with this one.
100%. And what Jordan Toon for life there, I couldn't agree more with. He said that no fans were complaining when we were after Ekitike. It's a very similar type of signing. And the only difference is Ekitike was a decent club who was doing quite well in the French league, whereas this lad's come from Sheffield United and couldn't pull up any trees from last season. But as I say, nobody was pulling up trees for Sheffield United last year.
Yeah. Kieran says it's an awful signing. Well, why, Kieran? Why is it an awful signing?
Squad play, mate.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand why some fans are saying it's an awful signing. I think it's a bit harsh to judge him like that immediately. Is it an underwhelming signing when everybody's wanting a big name? Possibly, but it'll only be underwhelming if we don't bring in the marquee right winger that we're expecting. That's when it will be underwhelming.
I mean, some fans are asking for Fulkrug, but Nicholas Fulkrug was never going to come to Newcastle United as a second choice striker. No way in God's earth he was going to do that, and most strikers worth salt wouldn't. We've got Alexander Isak, who in my opinion is one of the best strikers in Europe. Who's going to come in and replace him, be better than him? Nobody. So the striker that we signed was always going to be a squad member. Simple as that, with potential.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a perfect point, Billy, because if you look at it that way, I think, we have to sort of take stock on things and say, right, Ekitike was a perfect example. We didn't know much about him, but this guy's coming in, this kid, he's had some games in the Premier League. He'll probably take a while to get going, as in Eddie Howe's training regime, of course. We all know about that. But there's not really any pressure on Osula coming in because he's not coming in as our main number 9. He's not coming in with anything on his shoulders. He can step in when there's injuries. He will get games, as you say. He will play, but he won't be he won't be the first name on the team sheet. But he may be in the future because he may turn out to be an absolute star. And I've heard a lot of people, Billy, saying about Minte, selling Minte. Why have we sold Minte and then bought this kid? It doesn't make any sense. Well, it does because we had to sell Minte.
Yeah. I mean, the alternative to selling Minte was selling, was selling a Bruno or an Isak or Gordon. So come on, you got to sell Minte in that situation. And at the moment, before we signed Osula, I mean, he's not signed yet, but it looks like it's
pretty much done. Yeah.
Ben Parkinson was our third choice centre forward, who's got limited movement as far as I can see. Doesn't really get into scoring positions. And so, yeah, he's strengthened the squad just by spending £10 million. It's a good signing.
Yeah. Philip makes a good point here. If he's signing for the Toon, we have to back the kid. He's got potential. Anyone that pulls on that black and white shirt, Francisco, good morning, my friend. Sending some cheers from under a massive downpour. I would have rather we had signed Jebison, but let's see what happens. Hope he's good enough. We all hope he's good enough. Ian Chilvers has been a member for 18 months. Thank you very much, Ian. More interested in outgoings. Any news on that? Looking at you, Miggy. No, there's nothing. I mean, it's very quiet on the Western Front with that. Maybe when we come home from the Japanese trip after this weekend, maybe we'll see something happen then. But at the moment, it's very quiet. Even on the Saudi side of it, Billy, there's nothing really kicking off about Miggy.
No, well, he's in Japan at the minute, and he's probably going to play tomorrow. So, in fact, I'd go as far as say I'm 100% sure he'll play tomorrow.
Well, I mean, that's just filled everybody with joy this morning, Billy. Well, Kevin says
nearly a full game.
He has.
So yeah. I'm assuming that Mickey's going to play tomorrow. Yeah,
absolutely. Good morning, lads. How are you, man? Why is everyone hating on Osula? Anyone remember the last striker we signed for £15 million? Next year in the making, lads. Yeah, the times were different, I think, Kevin. To be honest, the valuation of players wasn't as it is today. But yes, you're right. You never know. I don't understand the doom mongering about it. I can't understand it. This kid hasn't kicked the ball for Newcastle yet, and everybody's writing him off. Look, he's whatever the fee is, 10 to 15 million quid. It's not a risk. He's coming in as obviously third choice. Let's be honest. He'd be third choice. But it's up to him now to develop under Eddie Howe and get himself better and improve on what he's already got. And he could become an absolute superstar for Newcastle. Yeah. Kieran says you'd rather sign a different striker for Wilson to be third striker. He's always injured, so what's the point in getting a shite striker. But
Wilson won't be here as a third striker.
No, absolutely not.
He's not happy being second striker, but he's come to the conclusion that second's obviously better than third.
Well, I mean, at the moment, while he's still at the club, he's got to work to get into the team, hasn't he? It's as simple as that. Mark says Eddie is clear favourite in the betting for first Premier League manager to be sacked. Or what? Yeah, I saw that last night, Billy. I'm a little. I mean,
I think it's because people have read all the bad news that the press have been writing about Newcastle United, and people are kind of taking that as disenchantment in the camp.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with that at all. I think they'll be managed out way before Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe won't. I don't think he'll go anywhere unless we have a bad start of the season, and then maybe he'll get sacked. But let's be honest, the England job might be coming for him before he gets sacked.
Well,
maybe that's what people are betting on. You know, that he's going to get sacked, the first one to leave post. Yeah.
However, I watched Goldbridge last night when he was going through the list of managers, and he was astounded as well. He says there's many managers surely ahead of Eddie Howe for first to be sacked, but obviously the England thing could be an interesting one. Peter says NUFC have just announced that the stack will be open for the Salah Cup. Indeed, it opens next Thursday at midday. No, is it midday?
Is it? Yeah, 11 o'clock, something like that.
Let me have a look. I've got it here. 10 a.m. Sorry, 10 a.m. and it's open till midnight, 7 days a week, Billy. 10 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week. That's
his dream, that isn't it?
Oh God Almighty! Yeah, looking forward to having a look in. It should be very interesting. It's took a while to build, but it's a fan zone as well. Let's not forget that. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to have a look around. Connor, thank you for your super chat. Great signing. Clearly, Denmark see potential, and it will hopefully give Wilson an incentive to stay fit and motivated. One for the future. Absolutely. Gary says these greedy bastard red cartel owners are trying to get rid of the transfer window with player trading instead of transfers. That's very Americanized, is the player trading. And I know it happens a lot in the NHL ice hockey, the NBA, etc. It's all about trades and stuff. There's no transfer fees. I don't think it could work over here in football. The way it works in those sports, they have draft picks, they have all sorts of stuff as well to add on to the deals.
Yeah, they have a college system as well, don't they?
Yeah, we don't have that, so I can't see that working over here.
I do agree with him. I think that the Yank owners of certain clubs, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, even though everyone's saying it's Ratcliffe, still owned by Americans. I think that'd be their dream. I really do, and it won't happen because there's too many club owners in the Premier League that aren't American.
Sai says, why don't you mention the other defender we signed, Miodrag Pivas? I think we've covered him in the show, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. He's only in the academy now, isn't he?
He's an academy player, yeah. We may see him. We may see him, obviously, in cup games or things like that, but he is definitely a one for the future as well. No doubt about that. Aquapa X Racing, I hope I've said that right. Thank you for your super chat. Off topic, sorry, but how much did we pay for Oddie, our Greek goalkeeper? I remember seeing reports of around 1 to 3 million, but Transfermarkt says we paid around 23.
20.
I think it was around the 20 million mark, yeah. Certainly not 1 to 3. We paid a lot more than that. Dean says, I'm getting fed up with all the negativity from our fans. I was disgusted with the entitlement of Man United fans. I feel that we are now becoming that way. Howie, lads, let's get behind the club deserved. Well said, Dean. And that's what we don't want to become, Billy. And we've said this from day one of the takeover. We do not want to become like the Man United fans and have that entitlement there. Yes, we can have opinions. We can have thoughts on who we should bring in. But let's not slate the players that are coming through the door just because they're not that big bloody marquee signing.
I 100% agree. 100% agree. There's no point us criticising Manchester United supporters, and I say supporters in inverted commas because they're glory inches, let's be honest. If they're not signing Mbappe, they're not happy. Newcastle United, we know more than anyone that you have to earn whatever you want to win, and we haven't earned anything to win anything for years. That first trophy will come. How can we be entitled when we've not won a trophy for 54 years, 55 years? It's ridiculous. Come on. Yeah. I mean, and to me, it smells of glory into people that have come on since the takeover.
Well, I mean, that was always going to happen. PAB says Ekatike scored goals. Wondered him. This kid has 2 goals in 2 years. Well, not for the academy, he doesn't.
In a shit league.
In a shit team, I think you meant, Billy.
No, Ekatike was in a shit league.
Oh, well, yeah. Sorry, yes, yeah. Actually, yeah. League 1. I mean, if you've got half a striker about you, you'll get goals in that league. Magpies United, great signing with bags of potential, replacement for Wilson, great age, so there's plenty of time to get better. Absolutely. And look, it's a no-lose situation for the money we're paying, given how much money the club have. I mean, obviously not available to spend, but you know what I mean. We are a very wealthy football club now, and 10 to 15 million pounds on a young kid who may or may not be very good. We'll have to wait and see, but at least give him an opportunity. Let's be honest, he's going to play in a much better team. He's going to get a lot more chances than he did at Sheffield United. So let's give him that opportunity, Billy.
Oh, hay fever got me then, 100%. And for £10 million, hay fever got you too. For £10 million, it doesn't really matter as long as he can run around a bit. He sneezed me on the other side of the screen there. And for £10 million, it's hardly a gamble, is it? £10 million, nothing.
Exactly.
This day and age. If he can come on the pitch and pressure players into mistakes that give us a goal, he's made his money back in one foul swoop. So it's a fantastic squad. So let's say fantastic. I'm over-egging the pie a little bit. It's a good squad signing. It gives a chance for our first 2 choice strikers to get rest because they never get 90 minutes football. They never play 90 minutes. They're always, having to go off after 60, 70 minutes because they're knackered. And this kid can come on and run around, cause problems as far as I can see. And he's got physicality about him as well as pace. So can't be a bad thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I'm just reading Jordan Cronin. He's reported this morning that there is a few players who could be available tomorrow for the game. Obviously, we expect Bruno to play some part in the game. And Lloyd Kelly is expected to start, Billy.
Won't be surprised,
So I'm looking forward to seeing him play, whether it's as a sub or from the start. But Fabian Schär could be playing as well. Eddie Howe has said this morning, or whenever it was, I hope they will all feature. When asked about Bruno, Schär and Kelly, they all trained today, which was Wednesday. We did a training session in the morning and they trained well. Good to have them with us. We expect them to play some part in the game.
So that'll be good. Whether he plays at centre back or whether he plays at left back, be interesting because Lewis Hall's played both games. So's Dan Burn. I expect Bruno will start tomorrow as well. So
yeah. I mean, you said that the other day, didn't you? That
I
Bruno,
think he makes the
fact that he was left out. Yeah. Ghost Pie May says he's coming as third choice. Yeah, I think everybody's saying about Osula. They're just making assumptions that this guy's coming in as a marquee striker. He's not. He's coming in as third choice. He's not first name on the team sheet. It's not a lot of money. It's not a massive risk. But those risks, those slight risks that we're taking in this signing, Billy, could end up being absolutely fantastic because he's playing in a better team. He's going to get a lot more chances than he did at Sheffield United. And I think people have to realise that.
100%. Yeah, as I say, as long as he can come on, pressurise defenders and goalkeepers and etc., run about, be quick, get into positions. That's the basic that any striker does. It's good business. It's £10 million that could go up to 15. If it goes up to 15, it means he's a success, in my opinion. He's had all the games and things like that. Good news. It's a squad game. We haven't had a third striker since Chris Wood left. For me, it's a good signing, and it's something that should have been addressed way before now, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Craft Lens Photography says, does anyone actually believe that Mitchell joined us on the understanding that our transfer budget was 10 million? I think people need to relax and trust the process. I am trusting the process. I have trusted the process for a long time, and I still do trust it. And again, Billy, I'll reiterate, the time to question the transfer window or look back on it is at the end of deadline day. When we do our marathon show, which, by the way, we are raising money for charity again. The final, is it the 1st of September again, or is it the 31st of August?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the 1st of September.
Whenever it is, we are on for the full day, of course. Now, we raised £4,300 last deadline day. for our charities. We want to hit the £5,000 mark this summer. So we are raising money for the same charities again. That's Mind and Parkinson's UK. Is it Mind? It's a children's mental health charity that we're raising money for. I'll double check that one, but it's going to be fantastic. We raised for the 4,300 last time. We're looking to hit 5. It'll be incredible if we can, Billy, hit £5,000, £2,500 for each charity. We really want to try and hit that this time around.
Yeah, it's a long old shift, especially on the old posterior.
It is. I think you'll have some pillows available to sit on that.
I've had pillows. I had pillows last year. It didn't do any good. Sat on a toaster rack. Well, if anybody has any suggestions in the chat, what Billy can, and within reason, guys, what Billy can use for his posterior to get through the full day without, I don't think he could feel his butt cheeks for a week after the deadline day last time. But my chair gave way, of course. So I'm waiting for my new chair arriving, thanks to Alexander. Yeah, any suggestions, let us know. Another super chat from Aussie Mag. Thank you, mate. I want to watch the match tomorrow. My wife wants to go and see Deadpool. So we compromised. I'll let you know what the movie is like. Oh yeah, yeah. That's compromising. Indeed, it is. Mark says a bad signing is someone who we spent a lot of money on, who then underperforms. So surely it's a win for us for 10 million. Well, we remember the likes of Givash and stuff, Billy, don't we? I mean, you know, there's been some horror shows. Some real bad ones, isn't there? I mean, what did Givash cost? 4 or 5 million quid. I remember the World Cup. He was dreadful in that, and then we signed him as a World Cup winner. He didn't score a goal in the whole of the World Cup, and I think he scored one for us, didn't he? Good goal, mind, but it was in a 4-1 defeat. Well, it's safe to say that 80s Gamer is not very happy, Billy. Jesus Christ, we are signing some real shite this summer. Ruddy, Osula, Kelly, Vlachodimos. Is this really the ambition we all expected? And for me, this is no better than when Mike Ashley was here. Well, I've seen a few comments like that. What's already in the squad? You know, we're just topping the squad up. I mean, I don't understand the goalkeeper situation. I must be honest. I really don't. That is a strange one, indeed. But I think they're expecting to get Dubravka out the door, and yet there's not been a lot of. Well, I think they were heavily relying on him going to Celtic, weren't they? But that fell through. Celtic turned the attention to someone else. I believe that Celtic have also brought in Kasper Schmeichel, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they have, yeah. Yeah, so there you go. Mike Elliott, thank you for your super chat. Where is the support for any new signings? Yeah, let's give the lad a bit of a boost. Let's welcome him to the club. And 100%. Honestly, it's a bit madness. Keep voting in the poll, guys. We'll take a look at that very shortly on whether you think it's a good signing or not. John Joe, thank you for your super chat, buddy. I'm happy with the signing. He looks 2-footed and an understudy to Isak. I'm sure he will be better than Chris Wood. And what did we pay for him? Yeah, £24 million, but we did get 18 back, didn't we? I think he's got a bit more mobility than Chris Wood. Absolutely. Stephen says, my concern about this signing is a lot of people seem to think we're sending him out on loan. With Wilson staying now, we need the third striker. He won't be going on loan. I'd be astounded if that's the case. If that's the case, Billy, what the hell is the point of signing him? Because, you know, Isak and Wilson could go down injured and we'd need a third striker. I think lessons have to be learned from last season. 100%. Yeah, we need 3 strikers. We've needed it since Chris Wood was sold to Forest. You know, to go and bring in a striker and send him out on loan makes no sense whatsoever. None whatsoever. James says, even when Wilson's fit, Osula could be on the bench and come on for a game that suits him better. I agree with that. And not just that. I mean, last season we had 3 goalkeepers on the bench at certain times. No harm in having 2 strikers on the bench. Grant Thomas, member for 7 months. Thank you for your support, Grant. I called Ivan Toney. He said he would cost a lot more and wouldn't be happy being third choice. Mansuk, thank you for being a member for 3 months now. Much appreciated. I know some people know this already, but apparently the Japanese friendlies are on Paramount Plus. I didn't actually know that. No, done. Oh, strange. Ian, the stream machine, says, it's not that I don't like the kid. It's as if Isak and Wilson are injured. That's all we have. And that's not Champions League standard. The point of the matter is, Ian, though, who's going to come to Newcastle United as a third choice striker that's an elite striker?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a Champions League striker. It's
and hope that, well, not, they wouldn't hope it, but only he's play when the two strikers ahead of him play.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
Kieran says, that's my point. Wilson won't play as anything less than first-team striker, but he's always injured. So that's why I don't get why we are getting a third-place striker when we could improve on Wilson. I mean, there's definitely some different opinions on this.
Well, if Wilson's had his operation, that hopefully he's going to stop him getting injured so regularly. And maybe, Wilson's... He's only got another year on his contract anyway, so we're not going to get much money for him.
Yeah. Very interesting comment from Shamrock there, Billy. Very common. In all the years I've supported Newcastle, I'm so tempted to put a bet on them to win the league this season.
I understand the optimism. I'll be honest. I do myself.
Yeah. Remember how much Liverpool paid for Núñez, and he's awful. Well, awful, I think, is a stretch. I think,
you might see him this season be a lot better than what he was last season.
Yeah, first season in the Premier League, of course. He did score some crackers as well. Let's not forget. I missed some sitters, obviously. But
so against us, the twat.
Yeah, and look at those finishes. They were, I mean, the second one in particular was a beauty. I was right behind that. It was a tremendous finish. Let's be honest. Would we have Núñez? I think we would.
100%.
PB spoke to some Danish fans on another channel, and they said this kid is terrible. I mean, look, fair enough. Have your opinions. There's no doubt about that. But what I'm saying is, let's not judge him. You can have your opinion saying, I'm not really fired up about this. But somebody, Osula himself might just say, right, I'm going to become a superstar at this football club. It's a massive opportunity for me. It's a huge football club, and I want to impress.
I'm not sure how many Danish fans would have seen him, given he's been at Sheffield United and he's young.
He's under 21 international.
But how many fans watching the 21 games?
Exactly. Looney Tunes says American owners will slowly ruin the game. Next will be Premier League games played in the States. Mark my words. Well,
I'm trying to do that now and then.
Yeah. To be honest, if that happened, I think there'd be a lot of season ticket holders a little bit annoyed with that, to be fair.
I can understand if it was someone like Bournemouth versus, I don't know, let's say Ipswich or Brighton, something like that. I can understand it then because they would make more money out of it than it would be in a home game. But if it's Liverpool against Newcastle, for instance, I mean, how many... It was a Newcastle home game that got changed. The chances are that there'll be more Liverpool fans in the stadium than Newcastle fans for a home game for Newcastle. That isn't fair.
But that's what they probably want, isn't it? At the end of the day, the big teams. We've got a super chat in from Ruffiad Benisian, one of our mods, of course. Thank you, mate. Give the lad a chance. Thierry Henry's stats at some stage in his career weren't much better. And look what happened to him. Yep. Chris says, gents, maybe signing Asuka is a bit underwhelming, but he is a big lad, blessed with pace and strength, and if someone who will flourish under Howe. Sheffield United are poor. Our coaching is a different level.
Yes.
Of course it is. And let's not forget, Sheffield United struggled all last season. They changed the manager. Wilder came back in. I think that was a mistake, to be honest. He didn't get anything better out of them. The strikers for Sheffield United did not get many opportunities last season. It's fact. So it really does annoy me when we don't give players a chance. And people are going to come at me saying, yeah, but you slag this guy off. And after they've played, yes. Ab says, I don't think it's entitlement. It's that we have had underinvestment for decades while other clubs spent like crazy. And now we can spend like crazy. They introduce rules to stop it. Yeah, good point.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. Great stuff, Dean, says Rich. I hope that still rings true when we are winning things and right up there. I hope we keep our heads, but we will attract plastic fans who will always feel entitled. I mean, I've seen, this is since the takeover, obviously, Billy, but I've seen things on social media saying, I used to support such and such, but I'm a Newcastle fan now. I've seen that so many times. And you kind of look and think, really? How can you do that? Cara says we got Rory Finneran. Is he good? Yes. But again, he's one for the future. Certainly not to. He may get some games in early rounds of maybe Carabao or things like that. But we'll see what Eddie does. Obviously, we do have plans for these players, so let's see what happens. Scott says COVID and hay fever on the rise. Well, my eldest daughter's been struck down with tonsillitis, Billy. The biggest white gunge on the back of her tonsils. She went yesterday and was told that it's the worst case they've ever seen. She's in a right state.
I had it twice as a teenager, and they give you these massive tablets. You can't swallow anything. And these tablets you had to swallow, they're like bullets.
Yeah.
Got rid of it in the end. But,
although the ones that maybe only the likes of Katie Price could swallow whole, Billy.
Yes. Maybe not through her mouth.
Yes. Moving on. Ian Spoons, good morning to you, or afternoon now, isn't it? Yeah, I'll read lads and lasses, driving so can't type more, but great to catch this live. Don't type at all when you're driving, Ian. Bruno's Magic Hat says most of Osula Premier League appearances were late substitutions playing an average of 38 minutes. People need to stop looking at one stat and not the whole story. Well, as I say, Stato will go through the whole story tonight and we'll find out a bit more about him and what he's all about. So, and look back at his early career and see what maybe he can offer the squad. Because, you know, if Mitchell's gone and got this guy, there's obviously something there. Mitchell has an incredible CV. Let's not forget that. And a CV at bringing players in who aren't exactly well known and can become superstars. So let's give them an opportunity to really impress. John Joe, thank you for another super chat. I'm told this signing is the Danish Gibbs White.
He's more of a striker than a midfield player, to be fair.
Yeah. But hey, if he's got the skills of Gibbs White, I wouldn't be arguing with that. Gary says 14 years of Ashley, FFP, PSR, all the injuries last season, 1 game a week. Really optimistic for this season. Thank you, Gary. We got a super chat in for Revenger. Thank you, mate. Love the signing. This beats DCL. We found a young talent with size, speed, works hard, and has a clean bill of health. DCL haters should love this. That is a very good point, actually. And Calvert-Lewin has looked absolutely dreadful so far in pre-season. And so have Everton, to be fair. And people talk about Eddie Howe being favoured for manager to be sacked. I think Sean Dyche will be right up there, in my opinion, if Everton have a bad start and are down near the bottom of the league. I think this is their last season at Goodison, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken. So, they'll want to go into their new stadium as a Premier League side, no matter what. Chris says, gents, maybe signing Osula is a bit underwhelming, but he is a big lad blessed with pace and strength who could flourish under Howe. Who did he have to learn from at Sheffield United? Very good point. Billy Sharp? I don't know.
If he's still there, is he?
I'm not sure. I'm just picking out names.
Cameron Archer was there last year, wasn't
he? Yeah. Geordie Rick says, Paul, Billy, what's your thoughts on the new retro top coming out? I love it.
I haven't seen it, mate.
Billy hasn't seen it. I'm trying to get a photo of it, but I haven't managed to on Twitter. I'm a little bit. Oh, I've got it, Billy. I've got it. Just give me a second. And I will get this uploaded, and we'll have a look at it. I really like it, by the way. I have to say, I really do like it.
I'm looking at it now. Strange enough.
Well, there it is on the screen. Very retro. I think that'll get a lot of purchases, Billy. It's a lovely shirt, isn't it?
I love the Adidas badge on it. You know, the old
the old one. Yeah. I mean, I've seen
sizes.
Maybe we'll see. Probably not is my view on that, Billy. But listen, look. The bottom line is, I've seen people complain, that the old Adidas logo isn't on the new shirts. Well, that's because it's not Adidas's logo anymore. They've changed their logo, so they're not going to, put their old logo on something that, isn't part of their franchise anymore.
It's a shame that the old logo was so good, wasn't it?
Yeah. But times change.
They do.
Everything changes.
Gary Barlow.
Everything changes but you. Kieran says Sammy Smodics would have cost the same.
Sammy Smodics is nearly 30.
He's 10 years older than Osula. Looney Tunes says not a fan. Would be nice if Adidas actually done something new for a change. Looney Tunes, have you got out the wrong side of the bed this morning, pal? Because Trefoil logo on all world class third kits, Paul. Well, let's take a look at the poll, shall we, and see what the viewers think. So I asked the question, are you happy with the Osula signing? Over 700 votes on this morning, and 79% are happy with it.
There you go.
So 79% of the Newcastle United fan base are happy with the signing of Osula. Very pleasing to see that, Billy. I know this, obviously, with any signing, there is going to be people who don't like it, who aren't sure or not happy with it, whatever. I just hope Osula comes in and, when he's called upon, he performs. And the fact is, we've got to give this lad a chance. John Joe, thank you for your super chat. Profile we've gone for is someone who can also head the ball in the box as a striker. And this guy looks like he can honestly, I honestly believe he will be a hit. And then that's something you've questioned Isak on, isn't it? That, the aerial power that he's got. Scored a couple of headers last season, but he's not really prolific with his head.
No, he's 6 foot whatever he is and jumps 5'8". So yeah, he doesn't like the rough and tumble, that's for certain. Yeah, but maybe as years go on and he gets a bit more having to rely on more left pace and more physicality, like Alan Shearer did actually. Who knows what comes of it? But Kieran kind of says about Sammy Smodics that he's a proven player that bangs goals in. He's never played the Premier League, Kieran. Never played. He's not Premier League proven.
Yeah, that's. I mean, at least Osula's coming in. He has Premier League experience, albeit small experience. But Smodics hasn't played in the Premier League, given his age as well. I don't think it's somebody that Mitchell or Eddie Howe would have looked at anyway. For a third striker, they want somebody that they can invest in, and I think that's what they're seeing as Osula as, Billy, is an investment for the future.
100%. Yeah, I mean, we've seen lots of Championship strikers that haven't made it. Adam Armstrong's one, isn't he? He's too good for the Championship, not good enough for the Premiership. This kid, he could be well good enough for the Premiership, but if he isn't, then we haven't lost anything because we'll get the money back, no danger.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? We can. There's a quick report coming in, but this is from Inside Football, so take it as a pinch of salt. That Newcastle haven't yet agreed personal terms with attacker William Osula. That's according to Sky Sports News. Yeah, Keith Downey was interviewed outside St James's Park this morning, said the deal is practically done. They just need to tie up personal terms. So there you go again. There's the media putting it out that, oh, no, it's not done yet. He hasn't agreed personal terms. But Keith Downey said it should be a straightforward deal. So, yep. Jesus, honestly, the media, man, they make you sick at times. Kev says Smodics is a huge no. He's not a striker. He plays attacking midfielder. He 100% wouldn't fit our team. Kieran then says, never said he did, but neither is Osula. Yes, he's got experience, but not much. We can only hope he learns from Isak. But Smodic's not saying we were linked, but he bangs goals. That's what you want. Yeah, that's fair enough. It's your opinion, matey. I just don't think that that Newcastle would have looked at him because of his age and the fact that he hasn't played in the Premier League. Like I said, I truly believe that Osula is an investment, and an investment that both Mitchell and Eddie Howe think they can improve on the talent that he's already got. So if he's lacking a bit of confidence from not scoring a lot, that certainly wasn't the case against York the other day. I know it's only against York, but it was a cracking goal. The way he won the ball back and then he curled it in the postage stamp. It was a brilliant goal. John Joe, thank you for another super chat. If Howe can fix Joe Linton, he can fix anyone. Yeah, I totally agree. But it's an investment, guys. That's what it is. It's an investment. Let's not forget that. But there you go. That is the news done and dusted this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Like I say, we are back tonight at 7:00 with another. Well, we're previewing the game tomorrow, of course. Take a look at what Eddie Howe might do with the lineups and etc. We'll have a look at the opposition, see what history they've got. Statoil have done a bit on them. And, of course, we'll take a deeper dive into Osula to see what he can bring to the squad. Thank you very much for your super chats, new memberships, gifted memberships, etc. Very, very kind this morning. And, of course, thank you, Mods, and thank you, Billy. Have a tremendous day, everybody. Enjoy yourselves, and we will see you back here at 7:00 with any more breaking Newcastle United news and a further deep dive into Osula and the Japanese team that we're taking on tomorrow. But enjoy the rest of your day, folks, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
Baked potato. See you later.
Come back. and check out to breathe.